Now put your left and your right together. Start clapping right now. Where else a wave, everybody? Good yourselves. Beautiful, beautiful people. Wow, what a ringing endorsement of my performance. She was like, oh, it's you? Oh, okay, great. Like, I was like 2 caveats. I've never really had it where you're like, it's like, oh, you're up next? Oh, and guys, it's a white guy. Like, I got to double couch that. I think that's a double negative, which means I'm going to do okay, right? Maybe? I don't know. My name's David. I'm from the Midwest. People will often ask me what the Midwestern accent is. If you want to know what it is, just say anything with less confidence. Oh, yeah, sure. Oh, okay, yeah. All right, yeah. Of course, yeah. Like, just don't believe in your convictions and you're from Iowa. That's just how it goes. I've lived in New York for about 4 years or so now, and so I'm like part New York, part Midwest. I've got these like competing voices in my head when I'm trying to make a decision. You know, like, am I going to do the Midwest thing, or am I going to do the New York thing? And my Midwestern voice is the voice when you tell your barber, you're like, when you like the haircut, when you really don't like the haircut, and you're like, oh yeah, sure, it's fine, because there's nothing you can do about it now. She's like, oh, it's really okay, don't worry about it. That's my Midwestern voice. And my New York voice is Dolly Parton for some reason. And look, I know Dolly Parton's not from New York, but she exudes the confidence of a New Yorker. I'm trying to decide whether to get on a crowded subway or not, and I just hear Dolly in my head say, well, a peacock who hides its feathers is just another turkey. Get on that subway, dollface! Get on that subway! I added the kick just to that little punchline. So I grew up in Kansas, and my high school was named Shawnee Mission. It was named after the Native American Christian conversion therapy camps that took place there. So go Lancers, right? You know? Which, I mean, you guys understand the gravity of it, you know, but it gives me a little bit of hope that somewhere, you know, like over the sea, there's some kid who's equally as upset because he's like, really, we're still calling it Auschwitz High School? This is insane. Or like out west, you know, there's one kid who's like, we need to change the name of Donner Party High School. The time has come for us to change this name. And that gives me hope that, you know, I don't know, I think we should name it after something affirmative, something that everybody can believe in. I don't know if you guys probably didn't know this, but on the site of my high school, actually, I received, in the parking lot, my third hand job. I think we should call Dave's third hand job high school. Go Lancers, am I right? Go Lancers! We can all get behind third hand jobs, guys. I had a black nanny growing up. I saw Get Out. I did. I saw Get Out, and I was like, Brenda! Oh my God! What did my mom do? Your eyes. I didn't even know that my mom liked tea that much. You know what I mean? But she was a Jehovah's Witness, and people don't like Jehovah's Witnesses, you know, because Jehovah's Witnesses, they're just the door knockers without the musical, you know. But I don't think we should judge them, you know. I mean, I think it's a fascinating religion, you know. They don't believe in celebrating holidays because holidays take away from, you know, the materialism of the holiday takes away from the message, and I think that's really nice. Like, you only have to door knock once in your life. I mean, should we judge people by the worst thing that they do in their lives? You know, we shouldn't judge them by that one moment. Like, do you guys judge me by when I was 13 and my bar mitzvah DJ asked me what songs I played? The only thing I could come up with was the soundtrack to Chicago the Musical? You would not judge me by that. No, you would not. I like to cry. Anybody like crying? Clap for crying. cathartic as shit. It's so fucking dope, alright? I like to cry. I wish I cried more, though. I don't cry too much. I only cry in very specific situations. I only cry in moments of inclusion and diversity in sports films. That's all I can muster. Clap if you guys seen the movie Cool Runnings? Clap for that movie. Yeah. It's a fucking amazing film. I cry every single time at the very end, you know? I recently rewatched it, though. I noticed some shit about that movie. They never mentioned race once in that movie. They always use these fascinating euphemisms that I'd never heard before. The most interesting one to me was to refer to all black people in the movie. They called them all new to bobsledding. Every single one. Like, so for example, like Doris would say, the Swiss, they'll never accept us because we're new to bobsledding. So I've started using that euphemism in my everyday life. Like my sister, she's got a new boyfriend, and he's new to bobsledding, you know. It's interesting to, I mean, I love movies, though. I love 90s movies a lot. I was recently watching The Matrix. Clap for The Matrix. You guys like that one? Fucking awesome movie. Fucking Matrix, yeah. I was watching that movie with my girlfriend, and she'd never seen it before. She was just amazed by, you know, all the iconic scenes. You know, when like the kid bends the spoon. You know, the guy stops the bullets. You know, and then at the very end, when the Rage Against the Machine song comes on, and Neo flies away, she turns to me and she goes, "Oh, The Matrix! I've seen this one before." What's that one? What's the one where Steve Carell's the agent? What's that one where Steve Carell is the boss? I've never seen The Office. I've never seen that one. You watch The Office now? And so we did. We watched the whole thing. It's a great show. It's an interesting time to be a person. I stand by that sentence. I stand by every single word in that sentence. Protests are back now. We did that last week again. You know, it's back in the doing that thing again. Protests are always a fun thing. Has anybody ever been in the protest and you're the last person to say the chant? Anybody ever been through this situation? I was in a protest a while ago, and I was the last person in a group of like 5,000 people on a crowded New York City street. I was the only person left screaming at the top of my lungs, "Nasty woman." It's just a little bit different when it's one white guy saying that. Just like, what do you mean by that? Another weird thing is when you're in a protest and you hear some chants that you never heard before. You know, I was at another protest and I heard people being like, you know, "Black Lives Matter." I'm like, yeah, Black Lives Matter. You know, like, "Love trumps hate." I'm like, yeah, love trumps hate. "Dogs are human." What? What are you saying? "Cheese is a vegetable." I mean, like, I want to agree, like, solidarity, but like, what? I want to agree with you, I just need more context. If you could just fill me in and then I'm there, alright? Alright, that's all my time, guys. Thank you very much.